this to work like this. Let me see if this. There we go. There we go. Let me just, there we go. There we go. Now we can go live on this thing. What's up, y'all? What's going on? I'm only gonna be a moment. Let me get my times ready. It's starting right now. Let me get my time. 4:43. I won't be that long. I gotta go to the gym. What's up, y'all? What's going on? Okay. I gotta jump right into it. What's up, Jarrell? What's up, Tez? I gotta jump right into it. What's up? I gotta jump right into it. I gotta get right into it. Let me select these photos real quick. Let me select all of these. Let me get all of them. Just hold on. Hold on. Because I've been asking this question. And the question is, who from our community is going to stand up to what's going on? Now, put my image up here real quick. Let me get my image. So we got Magic Johnson. Now we got Magic Johnson, going at Mr. Irving and possibly going at Mr. Beal, basically calling him selfish. Now, we can all agree that if you want to do something in your life, with your body, that can't be selfish. Now, the message they're trying to convey is that these players don't have a right to exercise their rights because they are a part of a team. And so they need to comply, even though not complying as a consequence. So if you're willing to accept the consequence, then it shouldn't be a problem, right? So yeah, I did hear Megan say he couldn't wear a condom with his wife. That's funny. But the funny thing is that Magic now is a spokesperson for the snake bite. And it's just ironic that he was a spokesperson for something that's even more deadly than this Peter pandemic. But he never acted this way. He never shamed anyone. He never called anyone selfish. He never did any of this stuff. But now, when it comes to this, now he has a hard, firm message and handing out condemnation. It's just funny that even when he had this so-called package or this HIV, it's funny that his wife never got it and he was able to have children afterwards. I'm just trying to figure out, what type did he have? Did he have the type that didn't spread? Because what women came forward? No women came forward and said that he gave it to him. No woman came forward and said she gave it to him. His wife didn't get it and he had children. And miraculously, the only person that has HIV is him out of multiple people. So what my theory is that in the beginning, AIDS and HIV was seen as an alternative lifestyle disease. And it was called, back in the day, it was called a gay white man's disease. And so you all remember, many of you are too young, but gay white men took to the streets and they protested to get that label off of them. If you remember, during that time period, Arthur Ashe had it, and they said that Arthur Ashe got it through a blood transfusion. So they were trying to get the stigma off of Caucasian men being the bearers of HIV and AIDS. And then all of a sudden, Magic Johnson, the world's most loved athlete at the time, him and Michael Jordan, but most loved being Magic Johnson, all of a sudden comes up with it and he has to forfeit his career. And it's just convenient that that came right after the stigma of it being a gay white man's disease. But if you go back and look at the footage before it gets taken down, you will see Caucasian white men protesting to get the stigma of it being a disease from them. Yeah, you're right. And Easy-E as well. So they were putting this jacket on a bunch of people that we would deem strong, masculine men. You know, from a visual standpoint and from a marketing standpoint, the masculine male is seen like as the melanated man is the masculine male. That's why the ideal man is a man that's tall, dark, and handsome. These are just things that this is just the imagery that they set forth. And so if we can get that image to crumble, then we can pretty much destroy what masculinity is. That's why you see people like Russell Westbrook wearing a dress. That's why they put all these strong athletes in a dress, or they make these strong male figures wear lipstick and put on wigs. You know, it doesn't work the same with Caucasian men. It just doesn't. You know, nobody cares if Caucasian men wear dresses or Asian men wear, or Hispanic. Like, nobody cares if anybody else wears a dress. It's a big deal when we wear a dress because we are the people of influence. But I remember when I was young, I used to watch when the Pistons played the Lakers, Magic and Isaiah would always kiss before the game. And I thought it was strange. You know, they would also kiss on the lips in the court. If you look right here, Joe Dumars looking at him like they're crazy. But I always thought it was strange that no one ever said anything about them kissing each other in the mouth before the game. I'm not saying they alternative lifestyle. I'm just saying that nobody ever said anything about it. And then they fell out. They were best friends, and then they fell out for 20-some years. And I'm just like, well, how do best friends fall out for 20-some years? It's really only a few reasons. Either somebody messed with somebody's woman, it was some money, or they had something else going on. We just don't know. But I'm just saying, if you best friends and y'all fall out, it's only a handful of reasons to why y'all would fall out for 20 years. But anyway, so Magic is now being a hypocrite because now he's adamant about people getting that snake bite. I saw this quote by John F. Kennedy, and it said, "Do not pray for life." Oh man, I don't know what it even says because it's so, dang it, I don't want to mess it up. But basically, it's like you don't want to pray for your life to be easy, or you want to pray for stronger men. Like, don't wish it was easier, you know, become better. And I think this whole woke movement is a way to stop us from evolving and becoming better. I was thinking about the whole transhumanism movement. And in order to have a transhumanism movement, you have to actually stop humanity from progressing. So you have to kind of get rid of character to stop all of character, principle, honors, moral standards, stop all of that. And then you can usher in transhumanism. Otherwise, you couldn't do it. But I wish I had this full quote in here because I don't want to misquote it. But to paraphrase it, don't wish it was easier, become better. You know, we don't need easier lives. We just need stronger men. And that's what the problem is. If you look at our community, my community, name me one person that is against what's going on with the position. Name me one person that looks like me with a big platform that is against what's going on. Right here, our crown jewels are Barack, Oprah, Kamala, and Farrakhan. These are the pillars of our community. And out of all these people, 3 of them are pro snakebite. 3 of them are pro snakebite. Someone said, you say Brandon Tatum? And then 3 of them are pro snake bite. All of them are pro mask. Now, Farrakhan is against the snake bite, but he's pro mask. You know, Farrakhan's actually mandated mask for the NOI, the Nation of Islam. They're required to wear masks per his orders. So I'm going to ask you a question. What separates Farrakhan from any random business out here that has a sign on their door that says wear the mask? What separates him? We all know what the masks do and don't do. So why would Farrakhan mandate masks with his community if he's for the people? Now, many of you all would get upset. You're talking about Farrakhan, that's one of, but you still got to ask the question, why would he promote wearing the mask? And then we know the mask is a sign of allegiance. Thank you so much, Katie Brown. Do not pray for easy lives. Pray to be stronger men. Thank you so much. Yes. Do not pray for easy lives. Pray to be stronger men. And so most of us are in this position right now because we wanted it to be easier. Most folks want to get back to normal because they want it to be easier. Nobody's praying to be stronger. How many of y'all have actually prayed to be able to overcome what's going on? How many of y'all have prayed to be able to be stronger than you ever been before in these last days, to be wiser in these last days? Everybody's praying for it to get back to normal. I just talked to a friend of mine. He's been out of the country for a month. He came back thinking all this was going to be over. And I said, what made you think that? How could you possibly think that any of this is going to be over? It's going to get worse. Right now is the easiest time we are going to see of this. But I'm going to ask you again, which one of our leaders with a platform is against what's going on? The people that we hold in sacred and high regard, which one of them are against what is going on? Please tell me. Please tell me. Someone said this bill, yes, HR 4980, Richie Torres, yes, but guess what? He is from our community. I did a video about him, but him, Bobby Rush, these people are from our community, and they're the ones that are pro all the stuff that's going on. I mentioned before that we are going to be on the wrong side of history. We are. We are going to be on the wrong side of history because all of our leaders, the folks we look up to, are pro what's going on. We don't have any leaders in these high positions that are against what's going on. So naturally, if the people that we are following are pro everything, even down to writing the legislation, even down to being on the team to create the snake bite, if we're involved in every aspect of what's going on, then how are we as a people going to be against it? I want to show you all something. This image right here is of the KKK. Now, somebody has a question on here. Ask your question again. Ask your question again so I can see it. But this image right here of the KKK with the Confederate flag gets everybody upset. This image right here gets everybody in a frenzy. Everybody's mad at the KKK. This is racism. This is all this stuff, right? But then if I put this up, it's not the same outrage. If I put this up, Bezos, Klaus, Soros, Gates, if I put this image up, it's no outrage. You all don't get upset about this. You all don't feel with anger. You all don't want these guys to go. There's a reason behind that, though. There's a reason behind what you look at the KKK as something bad, whom you don't ever see. And then you won't get mad at these people telling you we're going to take over the world. Klaus said, cyber attack, I'm shutting down the world. Bill Gates, I'm buying up all the farmland. and I want you hooked up to the AI. Bezos got a monopoly with Amazon. Soros, BLM. These men right here have caused more destruction than the KKK could ever even fathom. And yet, when you see these guys in a picture, nobody's outraged. Nobody's moved to protest by seeing these four guys. Nobody's moved to tear the streets up. Nobody's moved to riot and loot by seeing these guys. Nobody. We are all content to let these guys who are actually doing something, who are actually taking over the world, who are actually taking over your rights, we are content by seeing these guys, but when we see the KKK, who we don't ever see, who we don't ever hear speak, we are outraged by just the image. There's a reason behind that. And the reason is because you've been conditioned, you've been programmed, you've been indoctrinated, you've been miseducated, you've been all these things to describe how these four men are allowed to get away with literal murder, literally. I'll put them back up. We'll get upset at this image. We'll get upset at this image right here of the KKK. We will be outraged by this image. We will say this is racism personified right here. This, even though we don't ever see them in real life, we only see them when CNN and MSNBC shows up. We never see them in real life. We never hear any speeches. We don't know anybody personally. We never see them out walking around, but we're outraged by them. But then if I go back to this, but we're not outraged, by these folks right here. But we're not outraged. And they're doing worse than the KKK could have ever done. They're doing worse than the KKK could have ever done because they have our trust. They have our love. They have our endorsement. But there's a reason for that, though. And the reason is you've been conditioned. You've been programmed. There's a reason behind it. And somebody joining in may say, well, why is Farrakhan on here? Farrakhan mandated the mask for the Nation of Islam. He mandated the mask for the Nation of Islam. He requires them to wear the mask. Wearing the mask is an allegiance to the beast system. It's allegiance is saying, I comply with the beast system because we know what the masks do and don't. We know what the masks are for. I'm just, keeping it real, as y'all say. Now we'll get outraged at the KKK, at this image, but we won't get outraged. At the gangs. We'll get outraged at the KKK. We'll get outraged at Trump. We'll get outraged at anyone that white liberals say is bad to us, but we don't get outraged by gangs and how much destruction they've caused. These gangs have caused way more damage than the KKK has caused. This is a fact. These gang members have killed more than the KKK could ever even imagine to do. But we're not outraged by the gang members. We're not outraged by gang culture, but we're outraged by the KKK, who we never see. We see the gangs every day. The gangs kill every day. The gangs rob every day. The gangs sell drugs every day. The gangs steal. The gangs do all this stuff every single day, and we actually see it. We know gang members, and we're not outraged. We don't see the KKK. We don't know any KKK members, and yet we're outraged at them. There's a reason behind that, and it's because we've been programmed, we've been conditioned, we've been miseducated. As I said before, we are going to be on the wrong side of history. You see, the biggest problem we have is black power, because we didn't realize that when it came to black power, somebody had to pay the bill. When it came to black power, we didn't realize that someone had to pay the bill. So the black power has a bill attached to it. It costs, you got to pay something to black power. We didn't even realize that this fist is from communism. So the whole black power movement started its roots in communism. We don't even realize that this black fist that symbolizes black power came from communism. Communism is the worst thing in the free world. It's the worst thing. And we honestly think that communism, when it comes to America, won't be for us. It'll be for some other groups of people like Caucasians. Not realizing that if America is communist, we're going back into literal bondage. Somebody said that Farrakhan straddles the fence. Well, that's clear because on one hand, he said, don't get the snake bite. On the other hand, he says, wear the mask. So that's a double-minded man. The word says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. But this black power fist right here had its starts in communism. You see, what we don't realize is that every movement in our community, every single movement, all of them, every last one of them, was founded by what we all know as the global elite. There was no organic movement in our community. They are all allowed to function to keep division. There are no organic movement because an organic movement would focus on humanity. All of our movements focus on trauma caused by Caucasians, or even perceive trauma caused by Caucasians. That's where all our movements start. So all our movements start from a place of fear, from a place of lack, from a place of hurt, from a place of evil. Our stuff is not organic. It's never been organic. Even the Black Panthers were going to the rich Caucasians and Jews to debate them to get funding to even start the Black Panthers, and then to get funding to run the organizations. So how could you be running to the system to get money, but then fighting against the system? And the Black Panthers also were studiers of communism as well. Again, there haven't been any organic movements. All of them are orchestrated. All of them are controlled by, as my friend said, the social engineers and the global elite. None of these movements are organic, none of them. And so when I get on here and talk to you all think I'm a sellout because you don't ever hear the truth. So when I'm speaking to y'all, it's triply offensive because you've been lied to most of your life. It was hard for me last year to come to grips with the fact that my people didn't want anything. It was hard for me to watch. I saw the entire planet protesting. At one time, there was protesting for George Floyd going on in every single country. And not one time did one person mention how we needed some land. Not one time. The whole world is protesting. All these billions of dollars is pouring into BLM. And not one time did anybody say we need some land. How amazing is that? How amazing out of everything that we're fighting for, we actually have one thing that's on the books. And that one thing on the books is actually 40 acres and a mule. Now, many of you all, RZA, I see y'all mentioning RZA. RZA believes in Scientology. Nation of Islam follows Scientology. Now, if they follow Scientology, that means they follow eugenics. So we know who started the eugenics movement, and we know who started Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard, and them. So we know all this stuff. So it's impossible for them to be for the people if they're pro-Scientology and eugenics. It's impossible. I don't have to dig any further. I told you all before, there was a Million Man March twice on government property. They had a Million Man March twice on government property. So I don't know how that gets accomplished if you're not working with the system. And not one person got on that stage out of 2 million man marches and said things we actually needed, like land, like ownership. All these billionaires in our community, all these billionaires in our community, and nobody has thought to rebuild Black Wall Street. All these billionaires, all these folks talking about how much money, all the folks that we praise for being the first billionaire, Puffy, Jay-Z, we praise all these people, Bob Johnson, all these folks with all this money, and not one person said, let's rebuild Black Wall Street. Let's rebuild another Harlem. Let's rebuild another Rosewood. Not one person said, let's rebuild Black Wall Street. By this time, there should be a Black Wall Street in every major city, in every state. So you all are telling me I'm a sellout, but yet the people with all the money are not building up your community. So explain that to me. Explain to me how we got all these billions and nobody has thought to rebuild Black Wall Street. Why not? Why not? I see y'all in here talking. Well, y'all can look it up. Y'all can look up Scientology, Nation of Islam, look up eugenics, look up the lawsuit that's against Rizza Islam and his mother. Listen, when I'm talking to you all, it's not personal. See, the problem in our community is we want to keep secrets. We don't want to tell the truth because Black culture says you can't be honest. So that's how little girls get molested by the uncle and nobody says nothing. That's how all these kids get traumatized and nobody says. That's how the person can be selling dope and nobody say nothing. That's how them stray bullets can hit a kid and nobody say nothing. That's the problem with our community. Nobody wants to be honest. We always trying to save face. We always trying to, shh, don't say that. Shh, don't say that. It's time out for all that. The truth is the truth. Y'all can go look it up. You look up everything else, but you don't want to look it up. You know why? Because you don't want to know the truth. It's not personal for me. It's not personal. I just told y'all the man mandated the mask for the Nation of Islam. So what makes him different than any other business that's out there with a sign on the door that says, wear a mask to come in? What makes him any different? Y'all tell me these folks are woke, but they're still asleep. Come on, man. Y'all make it, this thing is not personal for me. You upset with the Ku Klux Klan, but not upset with the gangs. Make it make sense. You upset with me, but Joe Biden cut fund. Hold on. Y'all are upset with me, but not the gangs doing the killing. I'm a sellout, but you never call gang members sellouts. Gang members are the biggest sellouts because they're killing our people over a color. It's absolutely absurd. You upset with me, but not upset with these folks. These folks been keeping us down for decades, centuries. These folks been keeping us down right here. These folks on the screen right here been keeping us down, and nobody is upset about it. Nobody calls them sellouts. Nobody calls them coon. Nobody calls them grifters. Nobody said they talking to white folks. Nobody. And these folks been holding us down for years. You got Booker T. Washington saying, let's have our own. You having W.E.B. Du Bois say, nah, let's use the talented 10th and let's not have our own. Let's work in white America. Booker T. Washington, sellout. W.E.B. Du Bois, we love him. Make this make sense. Make it make sense. Nobody condemns the boule. Nobody condemns the gangs. Nobody condemns all these people with all these billions of dollars not rebuilding Black Wall Street. Nobody condemns these people, but yet I'm a sellout. I'm like, how is it possible? How could y'all even fix your mouth to even say it? And y'all want me to talk to him about what? All you got to do is go look up the history on your favorite people and tell me what you come up with. Go dig and do the dirt on your favorite people and tell me what you come up with. That's all you got to do. Don't take my word for it. Go digging and prodding like you do to find racism. Go do the same digging and prodding. All these folks smiling in your face, leading to the slaughter. Y'all sat there and you brought Gavin Newsom back into office. You brought him back into office because they told you that Larry Elder was a sellout. They told you that Larry Elder was a sellout. The funny thing is, you all know what BLM is about, and y'all don't condemn them. Y'all don't call BLM sellouts. Y'all don't call BLM grifters. Y'all don't call BLM coons. Y'all don't call BLM none of these names. You know what they're about. You know what they stand for, and you still support them, even when you know the truth. How to make that make sense? So it's not about information. It's about character. I keep telling you all, when you give information to people that don't have any character, it curses them because it forces them to make a character-based decision that they're not going to make. So now you know BLM is bad, but because you can go around people that look like you and white liberals and get acceptance by supporting it, you do it. So see, it's not about racism. It's not even about what's right. It's about what feels good. Y'all brought Gavin Newsom back in. You brought Gavin Newsom back in, and what has he done since then? Y'all don't even have the ports. All the ports in California are owned by the Chinese, by the way. The Chinese own the ports in California, so you know he working with the Chinese. Because you know he's a globalist, right? So you do know, y'all was focused on Larry Elder being a coon and being a sellout. Meanwhile, Gavin Newsom got the ships not coming to the dock. Okay, y'all was focused on Larry Elder being a sellout and a coon, and then he working with China to keep the supplies and stuff from the dock. And y'all endorsed this man over Larry Elder because they told you he was a sellout. But then you picked Barack Obama because they told you he was black. You see how that works? You have never been in control. You have never been in control. Your mind has always been controlled by white liberals. And Malcolm said this, that white liberals control the minds, control everything that happens in our community. Everything. Gavin Newsom said requiring voter IDs is racist, but the folks petitioning the recall got to have a voter ID. You know how insulting it is? You know how insulting it is for someone to think that you don't have enough sense to get an ID. Think about how you mean to tell me you don't have enough sense to get an ID? And y'all go for it. We're going to be on the wrong side of history. You see this image, right? This is what got y'all in trouble. The image of these chains and these fists. Because they never tell you all how great you are. They never tell you all how wonderful you are. These white liberals don't ever call you king and queen. These white liberals, as woke as they are, they never call y'all kings and queens. Why not? Why don't your favorite white liberals call y'all kings and queens? Why not? They woke, right? They love you, right? Why don't your favorite white liberals get on TV and say they're kings and queens? They love you so much. You're so great and wonderful. Oh, you know why? Because to them, you can never be kings or queens. To them, you are their servants. You are their slaves. They look down upon you. They have pity for you. They use you. Your favorite white liberals. This the image that got y'all in trouble. Is that fist with these chains, because this image right here has shaped our entire identity. Is this. It's bondage. It's oppression. And we should be so much more than that. But somehow we just get stuck in this. I'm oppressed. I don't know what y'all saying. Here goes the real BLM. Isn't it ironic that Baal, Lucifer, and Moloch perfectly line up with BLM, the acronym? Y'all thought it was Black Lives Matter, and then we just started saying BLM, but BLM could stand for Baal, Lucifer, and Moloch. I mean, why wouldn't it? I told you all before that black culture in itself is satanic and demonic and evil because it takes you from what God intended you to be into something else. It pulls you from what God wanted you to be to something else. So now you're running around saying you're black, but God didn't make you to be a color. So if God didn't make you to be a color, that means you're existing under a false premise. Somebody told you that you were black. Somebody convinced you to call yourself black. So that means they told you to not identify with what God described you as, because God said you were wonderfully and fearfully made. God said that we are his children. God loves us. So if God said we are all these great things, we're more than conquerors. God said we are all these great things. How do we go from being all these great things to just being black? Even so much to the point where folks will even say, all I got to do is just stay black and die. Even to reduce blackness to just staying black and die. Even blackness got reduced. So how do we know that BLM ain't standing for Baal, Lucifer, and Moloch? Why doesn't BLM condemn the high abortion rates in our community? Why don't anybody condemn Barack Obama for supporting full-term abortions? You know these Democrats want full-term abortions. All this arguing about abortion is about them having a full-term abortion, meaning the baby comes out alive. And then you do what you do. That's what they want. Because they want an actual sacrifice of a child. But guess what they want to do it? They want you to do it. I can imagine a time in the future where abortion will be to the point where the baby comes out alive, and then it's going to be the honor of the mother to take the baby's life. That's how sick it's going to be. It will be the honor of the mother to take the baby's life. That's how sick it's going to be. How do we know it's going to be that sick? Because they've linked abortion to health care, to my body, my choice, to something positive. So again, the devil always inverts. Always inverts. So if they called you black, they called you black for a reason. And the reason wasn't good. That's why black culture can never flourish. That's why black culture is so detrimental to our people, because it's a false construct. And then it has us worshiping blackness. We actually worship blackness, which means we are actually worshiping Satan, no different than David never having a star. That star came from Solomon, because Solomon was the one dabbling in the black magic and idol worship and satanic Luciferian worship. That was Solomon doing that. Yeah, because he had 700 wives. Y'all love polygamy, but you don't know the dark side of polygamy. The dark side of polygamy is Solomon was the wisest man, but he succumbed to too many vaginas. 700 wives is too many vaginas, because two of those wives was into the devil worship, and they got him to be in devil worship. So you know that means those two women they probably looked the best and probably was the freakiest. That's how the devil works. When the devil comes to you, it's not going to be offensive. It's going to be, say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. That's how the devil comes to you. Devil comes to you pleasing, so you'll like what he's saying. Makes you feel good. But that's the real BLM right there. But again, we mad at the KKK, but we're not mad at the gang members. We offended by the KKK. These people get on TV, all your favorite people get on TV every day and talk about white supremacy, but they never mention the gang violence. And the gang violence is killing us at rates that white supremacy could have never done, ever. The KKK, the white nationalists, and neo-Nazis haven't ever killed at the rate that the gangs are killing in our community. And we never get on TV and condemn the gangs. Matter of fact, we support artists that are in gangs. So which means we support the gangs. We support the music behind gang culture. We support gang culture. We support everything detrimental. But if I dare get on here and condemn things that are condemning us, then I get called a sellout. Do you understand how wicked and satanic and demonic that is? Somebody said the gays were installed by the elites. Yes, they were installed by the elites. I keep trying to tell people that we've never had an organic movement. We've never had an organic movement, because an organic movement would involve humanity. An organic movement wouldn't be based on skin color. An organic movement would be based on the human race surviving, the human race thriving. It's a human struggle, because what we are up against is spiritual wickedness. These folks want humanity to give their soul away. We are in the fourth industrial revolution. The fourth industrial revolution is literally about transhumanism. It is literally about the mark of the beast. It is literally about the beast system. It is literally about yielding to Satan. Literally. But y'all get more mad at me than you do at these guys. And these guys have gotten on TV and told you they want to depopulate the earth. They want to shut down everything. They want to control everything. Look at these men right here don't invoke any rage. These 4 men right here have not made none of the people in my community want to protest. And they've said some of the most egregious things in the history of the planet. These guys have said. Have you heard these guys talk? You've never said these guys, but guess what? These are the same people that support BLM. Bezos supports BLM. Soros started BLM. Klaus Schwab's not against BLM. Bill Gates ain't a bit, they support BLM. How ironic that these people, these 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, these 4 horsemen support an organization that's for you. And you're not even outraged. It's amazing to me. But I'm a sellout. I'm a sellout, but they doing this. I'm a sellout, but they got chocolate chips. I don't want to say what it is, you know. I'm on YouTube too. I can't say what it is, but they got chocolate chips. They want to put chocolate chips inside you. They want to put chocolate chips inside you so they can download your protection, keep you safe through a download. Could you imagine going somewhere and getting a scan to prevent you from catching something? These people hate you. People hate you because God made you. It's just simple. They hate you because you're God's creation and God's love you. They hate you. They hate you. They hate your guts. They can't stand you. I don't mean to gross anybody out because I use chocolate chips. If you like chocolate chips, I'm sorry. I just didn't want to say the other words. You know, we so censored at this time. Y'all don't think it's a setup, but there are 2 companies that control everything. Vanguard and BlackRock own everything. Now, people say it's a conspiracy. You a conspiracy theorist. I get it. But 2 companies own everything. That's not strange. 2 companies own everything. Think about that. 2 companies. Vanguard and BlackRock own everything. And y'all trying to tell me that a conspiracy theory is far-fetched. 2 companies own everything, but y'all trying to say that if somebody thinks the earth is flat, they're crazy. But you don't think 2 companies owning everything on the planet and outer space, because they own the satellites and the stations and all that. So 2 companies own everything on Earth and in outer space that we have created. And that's not strange, but thinking the earth is flat makes you crazy. Okay. But anyway, these 2 companies own everything. So just let you know that no matter how we slice it up, the system is controlled by these 2 companies, which means nothing they put out is not a part of the system. I don't care whatever they got going on is a part of the same system. So the same folks telling you that America is racist are the same people keeping those ships at bay at the ports, keeping them away from the docks. The same people tell you that America's racist are the very same people telling you that climate change is real. Who's a little girl, a little Thunderbird girl, Greta Thunderbird? Who is she? What qualifies her? Y'all gonna let this girl be the spokesperson for climate change. No qualifications, no degrees, no studying, just come from a wealthy family, and she gonna be able to get on TV and say, y'all can't go outside today because the sun don't like us this week. Thunderbird. Remember that Thunderbird y'all used to drink when y'all was young? Get drunk? Remember that Thunderbird? But Greta Thunderbird, with no qualifications, no credentials, y'all gonna let her get on TV and tell you all you can't go outside the house. But I'm a sellout. It's amazing. But hold on. These 2 companies own everything. So I don't care how woke you think they are. Vanguard and BlackRock own everything. So ain't no escaping the system. Ain't no, somebody sound like that little gremlin. I don't blame you. Let me find an article of about to say young lady. So we're in the era of hardware, software, wetware, transhumanism. So we went from hardware, mechanical, software, digital, wetware to go inside. Now we go to transhumanism. So the goal was always to get us to not be God's creation. So it was a step down for us. It started out with industrial, then it moved to now we're going into transhumanism because that's the goal. So now the future, the product is going to be human bodies. The future currency is going to be your body. They don't care about money. They don't care about, these folks, they have all the money. They have all the land. They have all the resources. They don't care about that stuff. They don't care about those trivial things that us people on the bottom care about. They care about your soul because they don't have access to your soul. The soul is the one thing you have to give to them freely. That's what makes them upset. They can't just take your soul because God gave you a soul. I told you before, these folks hate you. They don't like you. God made you and God loves you, so they hate you because of that. Okay. Somebody says CERN. But anyway, hardware, software to wetware, transhumanism. So the goal is to hook you up, to have you not to be human. So in the future, imagine if someone needs a heart, they'll be able to give them an artificial heart, like a real heart. But what's going to be in that heart? They want to put these things inside of your body to keep compressing your spirit until your spirit no longer can exist. And now you're just walking around. You still have a consciousness, but your soul will not be able to leave here. Your soul won't be able to return to the Father. And I thank God for having an awakening. When I saw back in January of 2020, I saw they had microscopic cells. And these cells were, where's my article? There was an article I had about them creating half AI, half human, half AI, half animal embryos. Sorry, you guys. I had this. I don't know where it is. Anyway, it was an article, and it was about how they created the animal. They created the animal AI hybrid. Like they created the first living kind of AI type of product. They've been preparing us with us for years. Like they're showing us androids, but these things where they're like half human, half AI type of things being born, to where they found a way to blend AI and human beings together. Again, all this is to prepare your body to receive the mark of the beast. Because like I said you all before, the mark of the beast, in my opinion, is going to involve antimatter. And your body has to be able to prepare to receive antimatter. Otherwise, it will destroy your body. So imagine a molecule of antimatter changing your whole physical makeup from a base component standpoint of carbon. 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, and 6 protons. Imagine that being rearranged and changed. Now you're something that God never even created. You're something that probably doesn't even need to even breathe air. Probably doesn't even need to eat that much. Like your whole physical makeup is changed. This is beyond DNA. DNA can be changed, can be reversed, manipulated, but altering your carbon will not be reversed. But basically the article was about the embryos of the AI and stuff. Anyway, we have an article here about they creating the 3D foods. It's the fake food. Like, you gonna eat this stuff? Are you gonna eat these fake foods? These gonna be they manufacturing fake foods made from what? Yes, MP Inc. Love, altering carbon. So there's a show called Altered Carbon. But I looked at the promo for the show, and I started thinking about everybody thinking that the mark of the beast is about melanated people, and it's not. The mark of the beast is not about melanated people, not about none of that foolishness. It's not. But I thought about how the devil gives you a portion of the truth and then manipulates you with it. Like the devil's not going to come to you and say, God's not real. The devil won't say that because the devil knows you're going to reject him. The devil has to tell you some truth. So if you just go read where the devil tempts Jesus in the wilderness, on top of the temple, then on top of the mountain. Just go read. The devil didn't lie to him. The devil wasn't lying to him. The devil was trying to deceive him. That's why the truth isn't in the devil, because the devil's intent is to deceive. So the devil don't actually have to lie to you. The devil gets us to lie to ourselves. This is why I believe the devil is the father of lies, because the devil convinces us that we need to lie to ourselves. But the devil don't have to lie to you. The devil can say everything that's good. The devil can say you're beautiful. The devil be telling the truth. But why is the devil telling you that you're beautiful? It's to deceive you and trick you. So if you read that scripture in the second verse of that chapter, I mean, first that Jesus says you're not supposed to tempt the Lord. And then the second time the devil tried to talk to him, the devil used the scripture. The devil referenced the scripture. Because again, the devil's not going to be able to come to you and lie because you're going to know it's a lie. Remember, lies entertain, but the truth convicts. That's why these folks can lie to y'all every day. Nobody gets offended or gets upset. But then I say something and I'm a sellout. That's why, because when I say the truth, it causes conviction. Sometimes I talk and I convict myself. But the fake, so they said now that they're able to the vaccinations really started with cows. You know, the jab stuff started with cows. They would do it through the cow's nose. That's how it started. So now they're going to do these nasal jabs now, where they just go up through your nose, and now they're saying it works on animals, so next going to be on humans. So what I'm telling you all is their goal is to get you hooked up to the beast system. So they're not going to stop. So you have any ideas of this stuff going away, it's not going to go away. All we could pray for is to be stronger. All we could pray for is just to be who God wants us to be. That's all we could pray for is to be better. So during these times, I pray to be the best I can be. I pray to be the best version of myself. I pray to be who God wants me to be. That's what, if you're going to pray, you can pray for that. But praying for this to end is going to be futile because it's not going to end. So you're going to waste your time with that. But I imagine that anything linked to this system is going to ultimately get you back to putting something inside your body. That's just where we're going. And that's just it, and that's all. Let me go. I had some more stuff. We had the 3D food we talked about. So my friend, y'all follow the Real Nikki on Instagram, but she had posted this, and it said that the Navy reported they blamed the crew for dealing. There was a fire on a U.S. warship that lasted 5 days. Now I want you to think about this. There was a fire on a U.S. warship that lasted 5 days. How was that possible? That means there's a bunch of people on the ship that weren't qualified. There are a bunch of people on the ship that aren't qualified to deal with the disaster on the ship. That's the only way a warship could be on fire for 5 days. That means the article says it was poor leadership, poorly trained. So who are these folks in the military? Again, what they want to do with the military is to make the military a virtue signal. If the military is a virtue signal, then they won't be able to use the military. Now, they don't need the military for a foreign attack because the globalists like Biden and Harris and Obama are working with China, are working with Russia, are working with North Korea, are working with India. The 5 largest armies are China, India, US, Russia, and North Korea in that order. So I'm telling you right now, out of the top 5 militaries, 4 of them are going to join forces to come against us, along with the UN. So I'm just telling you all, they want the military filled with all these people that want to, get their gender changed and be like men and all this virtue signaling so that the military is useless. That's what they want. They want a useless military. So the only way a ship can be on fire for 5 days is if somebody wanted the ship on fire for 5 days, or they just that stupid. You all pick which one. Both of them are equally as bad. Now, I want to talk about some of this idol worship. Now I want to talk about this idol worship. So what they do is, man, woman, we were never meant to make these idols, these statues, because what happens is you start focusing on these statues and these idols and you don't focus on God. Because God's not some mythical thing you looking at is, no, God is in here, right? So if God is in here, the journey that we have to take is an eternal journey. It's an eternal walk. So God never wanted you to look out with your eyes. God wants you to look in here with your heart. That's why God judges your what? Heart. The universe honors your intent and God honors your heart. That's how the issues of the heart flow out through the what? Through the mouth. Anyway, so we have George Floyd right here. Now, they got an image of George Floyd. Now, just think for a second. You only know George Floyd because he was killed by the police. So he's only a great figure because he was killed by the police, not because he was righteous, not because he helped the community, not because he was a gift to the world. There was nothing positive about his life other than the fact that he got killed by the police after committing a crime. Now, am I justifying him being killed by the police? Of course not. I'm just telling you, does that warrant him to have a statue in all these cities? Of course not. What they're doing is they're preparing you for idol worship. Because right after George Floyd statues, they're going to put these 10-story statues in all the major cities across the world. And when you go up to the statue, it'll show you the image of yourself. Here goes the devil now. I keep telling you, the devil is always in the details. It's going to show you an image of yourself, right? And eventually, the image on those big statues is going to be the image of the what? Of the Antichrist. So the devil's going to tie you in and showing you, and then flip it on you and show you the Antichrist. And you're going to have to worship that statue. So George Floyd has a bust, a gold bust in a city. So now folks can do what? Visit this gold bust, take pictures with this gold bust, immortalize this gold bust, and now 20 years from now, he'll be looked at as an actual hero because they put him in there with John Lewis and Breonna Taylor. So 20 years from now, we won't know that Breonna Taylor wasn't just known for being killed by the police. Breonna Taylor was known as a hero, but she really wasn't a hero. Contextually, he's not a hero. He just got killed by the police. It's tragic and it's sad, but they're not heroes though, because a hero is intentful. A hero says, I'm going to save my people. I'm going to save the world. That's a hero. They have a righteous cause. But guess what they've done? These woke folks have made these people heroes. And now they're going to have you all in my community worshiping these people as a false idol. I told you that black culture is all based in idol worship. The whole story behind Breonna Taylor. Now, here goes all 3 of them right here. This is what it looks like. Now, think about it. John Lewis was in the civil rights movement, but we know the civil rights movement wasn't controlled by us. So you got to ask yourself, what did John Lewis do? I read an article by John Lewis, and John Lewis said that the night before he signed the 94 crime bill, because he had to sign it too, the Black Caucus had to sign the 94 crime bill for it to get endorsed because Clinton needed that crime bill signed so he can get back into office. Hold on. I said Clinton needed that crime bill signed so he can get back into office. So many of your favorite black leaders of the past had to endorse the crime bill. I did a video on it, and it's funny that people got mad at me for doing the video, but I get it. Anyway, I read an article, and he was very honest. He said the night before I had to sign over on that crime bill, the 94 crime bill, the one that you all said that Joe Biden said he was the architect of the 94 crime bill. In fact, Joe Biden said his name's been on every crime bill since 1978. But anyway, forget all that. John Lewis said he tossed and turned that night before. He couldn't go to sleep. He said he prayed. He said he did all these things. He said it was not sitting right on his heart to sign the 94 crime bill. Many of the people, if you read up on it, didn't want to sign it because they knew it was going to damage our community. So I'm just letting you know that the folks that you all put your trust in, that we look up to, handed us over to the slaughter. You all calling me sellout and coon, but I have never handed you all to the slaughter. I've never told you all that you weren't great. I've never told you all that you all couldn't do it. I never told you all that you wasn't God's creation. I never told you all that you wasn't God in the flesh. I've never told you all to do anything detrimental to yourselves or our community, but yet I get called a sellout. John Lewis said he couldn't even sleep because he knew he was about to ruin his people, and he did it anyway. And he did it anyway. And instead of you all calling him sellout and a coon, you know what you all did? You all put an idol up to worship. You see in the Bible, Pontius Pilate said, y'all want to kill Jesus. Y'all want to kill Yeshua. I don't find any fault with him. I'm going to let y'all pick. Who you want? Barabbas, the one that murdered y'all? Or do you want this guy who's done nothing to y'all? Who do you think the people picked? They got to pick between a murderer and Christ. Who did the people pick? They would pick the same person they would pick today. They would pick the murderer. They would pick the ones going to do them harm. You see, they wanted Saul to be king because Saul looked like the king. They didn't want David to be king because David didn't what? Look like the king. So, you know, we've been doing this. This ain't nothing new. Somebody said Barabbas and Barack. Exactly. But this ain't nothing new. So we have idol worship here in these cities, but these idols that we see right here are... Now we got 3 people who I can prove didn't do anything for our people. I can prove it. We got 3 people here that didn't do anything for our people, and I can prove it. But you won't get upset because they didn't do anything. You just get upset because I'm what? Telling the truth. This is why we are a cursed people, because black culture says the truth is supposed to offend. You see, in black culture, the lie looks better, the lie tastes better, and the lie feels better. Because black culture is not built on anything righteous. Black culture is built from a place of lack, a place of hurt, a place of trauma, a place of miseducation, a place of ignorance. That's what black culture is built from. Hollywood helped. And it's funny that we talk about we're fighting systemic racism, but the system endorses Black Lives Matter. Google, Black Lives Matter. Microsoft, Black Lives Matter. Amazon, Black Lives Matter. All these, NBA, Black Lives Matter. All these, the system supports BLM. BLM says they want trans in leadership. BLM is a trans organization. Because what you all don't know is the reason why the trans have a flag is because they are separating themselves from the LGBTQP, don't forget X, Y, and Z movement. So they have their own flag. That means they're separate from the LGBTQP, don't forget X, Y, Z movement, because in the future, the trans community will rise to the top because they will be closest to the what? To the transhuman community. You see how that works? So he started out with, it goes from same-sex marriage to transhumanism. It goes from rainbow flags to transhumanism. It goes from movement, LGBTQ movement, which started in 1969, to what? Transhumanism. So, and by the way, the LGBTQP movement started in 1969, and it started because there was a hotel that was owned by the mob that had like a club and bar in there. And you can look this up, it's called Stonewall, you can read it. And it was all kind of people in high positions in their partying. They had drugs in there, prostitution going on, everything was going on in this place. The police decided to raid it. When the police raided it, the folks that were in there didn't want to give the police their identification. So, of course, that started a what? What y'all say police brutality is only for us, but back then it was happening to everybody like it does now. The media just doesn't show you. The media doesn't show you when a white police officer kills somebody white. It just don't show you. So you think it don't happen, but it happens all the time. I can pull the numbers up and show you. All you do, listen, all you got to do is just go look the numbers up. They're there. But the media makes you believe that white cops only kill melanated people. That's what they got you believing. So they only, all the other folks getting killed by the police, families crying, families suing, families getting money, all that stuff going on, but the media got you believing that the police wake up every day and go out to kill you. And most of y'all, 99.9% of y'all, don't know anybody that was actually killed by the police. Anyway, so they don't want to give their ID. So the police, you know, the police gonna be the police. You can't tell them no. So then people got arrested. People got arrested, rightly so. They was resisting arrest. They weren't complying. The next day, 1,000 of them or more showed up to that hotel owned by the mob where they were selling drugs and doing prostitution. They showed up and protested, and that is how the LGBTQP, don't forget X, Y, and Z movement started from that event right there. Now, does that seem good to you? Does that seem organic? Oh, I didn't think so. All this stuff is controlled by these global elite. Somebody said, I ain't never seen a KKK member either. You know why? Who wants to know why? Who want to raise their hand and tell me why you don't ever see a white nationalist, KKK, or neo-Nazi out in public? Why not? Why not? First of all, it's only a small percentage of them like this. Second of all, where do they live? Where they gonna go? It's a setup. Ain't it convenient that when we only see them when the cameras are rolling? We should let you know that they're working with who? The media. They working with the system. They pump fake everybody by saying, find people on both sides. Nobody even thought to keep watching the video. Find people on both sides. Let me tell y'all something again. The devil will always be in the detail. The devil is always in the detail because the slightest alteration changes everything. The slightest alteration changes everything. If I have a sentence and I pull a word out, it changes everything. So anyway, so these are the three people that we're going to worship in these cities, and they're going to put these idols up to condition you to get into idol worship. And then they're going to hit you with the one world religion, and then eventually they're going to show you that aliens are real. And they're going to tell you that the aliens are the ones that created us, because they have to have some kind of event to destroy all religion. And so many of us are going to fall victim to thinking that these aliens are really God. They won't be, but they're going to trick many of us because we'll see the aliens and think it is real. This is why we got to walk by faith and not by sight. I I don't know why my stuff is not coming up, but speaking of transhumanism, I don't know why they're not. I really. So this young lady right here, her name is Clara, I think. This is an AI. She's bilingual. I think she's an artist, but she's an AI. She's AI. She's not real. It's artificial. So what I'm telling you all is that this thing right here, if they can get an AI, whatever this is, to sing like you, to rap like you, to dance like you, to talk like you, to look like you, guess what that means? They don't need you. And I promise you all, I had so many pictures saved on here, but they didn't come up. They didn't save to my. Let me go to try to manage some more because I had a whole bunch of these. I want you to see, because there's articles about her, but her name is. They didn't save you. I'm sorry. They didn't save. Oh, here they go. Here they go. Here they go. I'm sorry. Here they go. Here we go, y'all. Here we go. Yeah. So this is Clara, and in the middle of her name it says AI, and so Clara is not real, but she looks kind of like Beyonce, right? But anyway, if they can get something to sing like you, rap like you, talk like you, walk like you, dance like you, basically be you, they don't need you. So this should let you know that them doing stuff like this is going to be a trend. You know how trends catch on. So imagine her being a #1 selling artist and she's not even real. Where's the money going? Who's controlling her? So imagine you have the top 10 artists in the future are all AI artists. So you see what just happened? They just squeezed humanity out of the entertainment industry. They just squeezed humanity out of music, out of acting, out of movies. Think about that. This is the goal. It's transhumanism. So they're going to tell you, in order to be a part of the system, you got to be part what? AI. Now they're just saying, get the snake bite, get the snake bite, get the snake bite. But now they're going to tell you, you got to be part AI to be a part of the system. Somebody said, we can't be replicated. No, we can't be replicated. That's why they're going to replace. I didn't say replicate. I said replace. They're going to replace you. Transgenders can't be real women. That's why they're going to replace women. They're going to put women to a subjugated class. I know many of you all can't see it, but the whole transgender movement is to totally oppress women, because a woman can't compete with a man being a woman, because her being a woman is what's not being valued. So that doesn't give you a leg up. So you being an actual woman doesn't give you a leg up when you compete with a transgender. They already have a thing what they call womb transfer surgery. They can transfer the womb into the man. People are evil, they're sick, and they are wicked. So I'm just letting you know, they're not going to replicate you, ladies. They're not going to duplicate you, ladies. They're going to replace you. They're going to put you down. And once women get replaced, everything y'all been fighting for will all be lost. See, y'all don't know oppression until you see this great reset take a hold. This fourth industrial revolution. Everybody out here running their mouth now is going to actually see real oppression, because the oppression will be what it's always been, and that's been against humanity. But yeah, that's a fake artist. But again, organizations like this are the ones that have been keeping us down. These are the gatekeepers. These are the ones that stand at the gate and let us in or kick us out. These people right here, the boule. So the boule work for the elite. Again, there has never been an organic movement. All of the movements that we've ever had, all of them, every single movement that has ever been for the advancement of our people has always been started by the elite. Every last one of them. There's not one that's independent of it. Not a single one. A wise person told me, believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. Somebody said they will not build back better. No, they will not build back better. They will build back, though. It just won't be better. So I got one more thing to say. We covered the idol worship. Oh, okay. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. So there's this city. There's a city, and I wish I could. Let me read it. Hold up. There's this city, and let me read it in this. Okay, and it's called Telosa, and basically, you won't. It'd be a city. It'd be the perfect city, ideally, but you won't really own anything in the city. You know, that latest technology. You know, you all can sell stuff. You all can get the illusion that you own your property, the illusion that you own stuff, the illusion of stuff, but you won't really own it because it tells you that the folks that build the city are going to own it. I think it'll be cost like $400 billion, and you'll be able to move in by 2030. But in these cities, though, you're not going to own anything. And I can almost guarantee in these cities, in this Telosa city, I can almost guarantee that you're going to have to be a part of the system completely. That means chipped up, jabbed up, whatever up you got to be, uploaded. You got to be everything up to be in this city. You'll have no sovereignty. You'll have no rights. You won't be considered human. You will be property. And here goes the catch. Once you become a resident of this city, you're going to become property of the city. That's why you'll be able to buy and trade and sell in the city. But guess what? Not outside the city, and you won't own anything. Because when you try to leave this city, because some folks going to grow a brain like we normally do when it's too late, because hindsight's 2020, we're going to grow a brain and try to leave the city. You're not going to be able to leave because you already hooked up. But they going to tell you, if you go a certain amount of feet from the city, the computer chip going to shut down and you're going to die. This is all a setup. This is the whole thing with the smart cities, the smart cars, but you're going to be dumb. The city going to be smart, the car going to be smart, the phone going to be smart, but you're going to be stupid. And that's the goal. And that's the goal, is to recreate slavery. I saw something where they said they bought up 40 acres and a mule. They bought up 40 acres and a mule. But the irony was that if they give you 40 acres and a mule, what will the conditions be? And I can't find the article because one guy suggested, it's a committee in California that's dealing with, I don't know why this stuff didn't show up on my phone, man, my iPad. There's a thing in California, and it deals with, somebody suggested, to keep up with the times, give us 40 acres and a Tesla. And I said, I give you a prime example of what it's like. My boy brought this up. He said, just when they said a player can get paid for their likeness is when they said you got to get the jab to play. Think about that. The moment they said, oh, you can get paid for your likeness, but you got to do this to get your money. So much like if they give you 40 acres and a mule, a Tesla, what will you have to give up to get it? Now, keep in mind, if they do this in the future, which I believe they will, I believe they'll give you 40 acres in a car, whatever it is, but it's going to cost you everything. And then so many of us are going to say, I don't want it. You know what they're going to do to us? They're going to shame us. They're going to say, why don't you want these 40 acres? Y'all been complaining. I'm telling you what they're going to do. They're going to condemn you for not getting the 40 acres and the Tesla. They're going to condemn you for not giving your soul up. Like I said before I end, we are going to be on the wrong side of history, our people, because the ones that we love the most are the ones leading us to the slaughter. So and I say that because we don't have enough courage, take that back. We don't have enough character to condemn the stuff that condemns us. We only condemn what white liberals tell us to condemn. And that's the issue. So out of the 4 folks on this box, all of them are for the mask. 3 of them are for the jab. But I would tell you this, you can't dibble and dab in the beast system. So if you pro-mask, eventually you're going to be pro something they have, because something's going to appeal to you. Something is going to appeal to you. All you got to do is do your own research and look up what these people are doing. Ask yourself, why would Bill Gates want to buy all of the farmland? Chad, we said we got bots in the chat. Yeah, you know, we got bots in the chat. We got people that have, a lot of times, you know, it's, when you're telling the truth, people have to silence the truth. It just is what it is. It's not personal to me. I don't take it personal because I just know they're just tools of the devil. So I know that their life, you know, whatever it is probably a white liberal doing it. You know, it's just, it could be a white liberal about whatever, but, you know, this is what happened with the truth. Now, somebody said, what did Farrakhan do? I would just encourage y'all to look up the Nation of Islam's link to Scientology. There was a guy that's high ranking in the Nation of Islam that received an award for the people at Scientology. And they believe in eugenics. Like, this is, I'm not making this stuff up. As I told y'all before, Farrakhan organized a 1 Million Man March twice on government property. Do you think they would let me organize a march? Honestly. Let me tell you all something too. The goal of these bots is to get you to leave a comment, to get the account flagged and stuff. That's their whole purpose. Their purpose is to get you to say something out of bounds to them so you can get the video taken down. That's their whole purpose. Their whole purpose is to get you to respond to them in a negative way to get your page and stuff shut down. That's how they do. Most people get their stuff shut down based on the comments under their videos. That's how the algorithms work, based on these comments. So, yeah, that's their goal. That's why I said you got to just pray for them, and you know, whatever, you know. But anyway, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. That's all. But anyway, yeah, but anyway, he organized a 1 Million Man March twice on government property. And I look at the talking points. What was the purpose of the 1 Million Man March? What was the purpose of it? They came together and did what? Again, all these billionaires, all these woke people, all this information, all these conscious folks, and we've never built Black Wall Street. We never rebuilt it. We've never done anything like that. Why not? Nobody can answer that question. Nobody can answer why we have all this money flowing around, supposedly. These folks have all billionaires, supposedly, but yet none of the money is used to build anything. Even when BLM got billions of dollars, they did not give any money to the community. They made all that money and they never got condemned for keeping the money. They bought houses, they bought airports, they bought all this stuff, but they never put the money back in the community, even though they made the money off of the community. This is what I mean by being a part of Black culture, why it's evil and satanic and demonic, because it's a constant state of being double-minded. And I want to close on this. The whole narrative behind racism is that white people, Caucasians, European, are superior, because the whole notion of racism says that you are oppressed. If someone is able to oppress you, then they have power over you. If they have power over you, then by definition, they are superior. So the whole notion of racism is to say I'm inferior to white, Caucasian, European. That's the whole premise of it. That's it in a nutshell. It's not any deeper than that. That's what it is. So I tell you all that the whole racism narrative is the matrix, because they don't have to lynch you, string you up, put you in chains, put you to work in the cotton field or tobacco field or sugarcane field. They don't have to do that. What they have to do is just convince you that you're oppressed and you'll do the rest. So when you wake up in the morning, you don't wake up feeling empowered. You don't wake up feeling invincible. You don't wake up and feeling mighty and great. You wake up feeling oppressed. There are people that go to church every Sunday, Bible study on Wednesdays, read the Bible, do every day, pray, all that stuff, and still don't believe that God is greater than racism. They still don't believe that they're even greater than racism. Why? Because a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So it's impossible to believe in God and then at the same time endorse racism, because it's a conflict of interest. Because the bare essence of racism is that you're being oppressed by a specific group. That means that you're inferior. So that means you can walk outside and a white person that you don't even know can impact your life. That means you are inferior to that white person. That's why I say we should abandon the whole notion of racism as they are presenting it. Because true racism is economic. It's economic. It's not about skin color. It's about economics. It's about not allowing you to have or keeping you from having. That's the whole premise of it. That's why back in the day, they started handing out 40 acres and a mule, but then they realized, well, that's not going to work, because if we give all of them 40 acres and a mule, they're going to take over. So we can't do that. Then one of the generals said the stipulation should be that if we give them 40 acres, they should be able to have their own government. And we can't have it either. So then Lincoln said, well, since we can't reach an agreement, let's just let them go colonize South America. Then they blew his head off. See, that's the issue. The issue is economic. It ain't race. You can look at the artwork from the past and the present. Our skin color has never been a problem. It's never been about the skin color. You can go to Rome now and see the Shrine of the Black Madonna. It's never been about none of that. They've always loved your skin. That ain't the problem. The problem is limiting the competition. It's economic. It's not about skin color. So the whole race narrative says that you are inferior to the average white person. Even though 80% of America lives check to check, y'all still talking about white privilege. What is it? How is it a privilege to live check to check? 80% of the country live check to check. The average yearly income for a male in the country is $39,000 a year. Like when we get these numbers, this stuff don't make sense, because it's all propaganda. It's all propaganda. Well, listen, I honestly don't believe he's a real person, but then I kind of do, because I saw he got the picture, he got on like some skinny jeans or whatever. So I just really think that he's alternative lifestyle, and this is his way of, I guess it's like flirting, kind of like flirting. You know, like when you was a kid, you know, the boy would hit the girl that he liked. So this is his way of like trying to flirt. He's alternative lifestyle. I'm not taking the bait, but I think that's what it really is. You know, he actually, because there's no way a grown man would come on my page to try to get my attention and want me to go on camera with him like it's FaceTime, like we about to go on a date. So there's no grown man that would want that. So no. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think that he's just alternative lifestyle, and that's good. You know, he can be alternative lifestyle. We don't discriminate over here. He's allowed to have his preference, but I just think that this is his way of getting my attention, because he wants to going. He wants to have like a mock date. If I go live with him, he can sit down with me, and I imagine if I put him on camera live, he'd have some wine in his hand, some cheese and some grapes and some crackers. You know, he'd be sitting there with some music playing. The lights would be dim. I can just imagine the scene that he would play. But anyway, but forget all that. So the whole premise behind the racism is that you are inferior and that white is superior. And so once you subscribe to it, there's never any solution to it. Like, there's no way to actually tangibly fix racism because they can't really put their hands on it. They can't ever put their hands on it. So the problem is they got you chasing a ghost. And so now it's been reduced to us having conflicts with someone that's Caucasian on social media. They're saying like that's racism. With the John Gruden thing, they said John Gruden was racist, but I'm like, the man been coaching all this time and he been around us all this time, and now one person said he was racist. But if he say somebody got some big lips, then he racist. It's absolutely insane. But again, we become soft, and now I go back to the whole thing of we shouldn't have wished it was easier. We should have went back to making stronger men. Y'all say go live with Mitt. Man, listen, man. Y'all are making this man's day. This man don't get this much attention. He don't get this much attention in real life. Nobody thinks about this man in real life. He wants to have an IG date with me. I'm telling you, if I put this man on camera, he gonna have a whole scene set up. I'm telling you all this. He gonna have the wine. He gonna have the incense, the sage. I know what he gonna do. He is a fan. He wants to get attention. He won't think about it. How was his first reaction to put me on camera with you? Think about that. His solution is for me to go on camera with him. No, come on. Come on, y'all. Y'all know what that man want, man. That man want a romantic evening with Blanche. That's what he wants. A romantic evening where he can talk and give me his frustrations, tell me how he's a victim, tell me how white folks been picking on him, tell me how he trying to get some tighter jeans, tell me how he ordered some new Chelsea boots, tell me how, he just want to sit down and talk to me. Tell me how his father wasn't there. Tell me how he don't really love himself. Tell me how he got an eating disorder. He just want to sit down and talk with me, man. He want to sit down and spill his guts to me. He want to have a romantic evening with me. This grown man wants that. That's what he wants. He want to sit down and talk to me because he want to talk. Well, you know, Blanche, I just feel a certain kind of way, man. When you say this, it hurts my feelings. And, it just, I like my Chelsea boots, Blanche. I don't want to hear all that, man. He too soft, man. I don't want to hear that, man. I don't want to hear that. Come on, man. But look, y'all. I listen. I love y'all. I love y'all. I'm trying to write some of y'all IGs down so I can see. This man still asking to get on camera, man. And then he thirsty with it. You thirsty with the, how you begging to get on camera with me? Who does that? Who begs to get on camera with a grown man? Who raised y'all? I'm trying to figure out who raised y'all, man. Who raised y'all? Another thing is, my friend Leah posted this. Y'all follow Leah online, Leah online. Look at him. This dude sending requests. This is a grown man sending requests to go live with me after I'm telling you all that his man want to go on a date with me. And he still wants to go live with me. I'm already setting the premise. He wants to go on a date, and this man is sending requests. This man is requesting to go live with me. Could you imagine A grown man tell another grown man, you want to go on a date with me, and the grown man still saying, please put me on camera with you. God, how soulless, how low can we go? I wish I would put him on live with me. I wish I would share my throne with him. I wish I would. Oh, somebody say he want a versus battle. Yeah, right. This is Bland Show. Thank you. Pink Love, thank you. That man wanna sit down. That man got wine set up, trust me. That man got everything set up to go on live with me. Trust me. He gonna go in the closet, he gonna change. He gonna put on a new outfit. I'm telling you, he gonna have his feet propped up so you can see them Chelsea boots. I'm telling you what he gonna do. I know what he gonna do. He want an audience with me. But anyway, y'all. But anyway, though. Yeah, but another thing is too, though, is we gotta stop acting like there isn't any unity in what we got going on out here either, though. We are more unified than people want to believe. And I see us coming together under this fight of tyranny. I just don't see the folks in our community with these high positions against it. Everybody with a big platform is for this, all of them. I haven't seen one person from our community against any of this, which is why I've been saying we're going to be on the wrong side of history. Somebody said, what was y'all dispute? We don't have it. There is no dispute. I don't even know. There's no dispute. You see, in this modern era, you see, back in the day, there was like older men in our community that were able to pass down some wisdom and some game, even if they weren't our fathers or our uncles. There were some older men in the community that were still pillars, able to sit us down and give us some game. You know, like when I was coming up, it would be some OGs from the park. In the park, it would be OGs that would be giving us game all the time. We had somebody to go to, but this generation don't really have stuff like that. They don't have anybody that got some principles and morals and standards to give them some wisdom and some game. So most of them have feminine traits. So most of these men are really crying out for help. When you see Young Thug in a dress, he's really crying out for help. When you see Russell Westbrook in a dress, he's really crying out for help. Even Lil Nas, when you see him taking pregnant pics, he's really crying out for help. These men are crying out for help, looking to fill a void. You know, just looking to fill a void. That's all. And I see, now I see 3/4 Yeezus. What are you talking about? 3/4 Yeezus. Explain your comment, 3/4 Yeezus. Anyway, so what happens is when it comes to manhood, manhood has to be taught. And I'm gonna end on this. I'm gonna give you 10 more minutes. Manhood has to be taught. You gotta teach, man. You gotta pass down manhood. You gotta be an example for manhood. So the problem is that most of the men in our community, if they do get information, it's not good. We don't get honor and tradition and heritage and values passed down. We get foolishness passed down. We get degradation passed down. And so I make it a point when I even see these young men out here to talk to them and give them wisdom and give them game for a reason, because I know that what they're up against society, they won't be prepared for, because most of the people that should be talking to them won't be talking to them. We got a bunch of men, 40s and 50s, still trying to be young. So it's a whole generational gap when it comes to true manhood. And that's really where the gap is. That's really what's causing the problem. The problem is the men aren't connecting, the real men aren't connecting with the young men. And so it's a gap that hasn't been filled up. And so a lot of these men, they're crying out for help. They're just crying for help. They want attention because they never got the right kind of attention. I used to work with kids. I used to work with the worst of the worst. I used to work with kids that was up for getting incarcerated, armed robbery, murder, everything. I used to work with them types of students. And I realized something, that most of those young men could have been saved had they been intervened with earlier, had there been someone in their life. You know, the studies show that one positive role model in a child's life can almost put them on the path to success. The problem is when you don't have a role model and the role models that you have aren't really giving you good examples and giving you wisdom or whatnot. So that's pretty much what I see happening. And so instead of us hopping on social media and crying for attention, we need to get back out there and start trying to uplift this next generation. Because there's a time period coming up where they're going to be faced with all kind of stuff. We just talked about transhumanism and communism and their rights being taken away and wicked systems and marks of the beast and computer chips and all this stuff going on. They got to be prepared for this. So how will they be prepared if I'm not passing down, or we're not passing down this wisdom, this insight, and really just this game? So my goal is to pray for all of those who are seeking help. And this person on my page is seeking help. He's reaching out for help. I can't share my platform with him. I can't let a stray cat in my house, you know, but I can show the stray cat some love by not running the cat over. I'm not going to feed the cat because I don't want the cat coming around, but I will show the cat some love by making sure the cat is not ran over by folks in the neighborhood. You know, so again, the purpose is for these young men that are crying out is for us to help them. And the Bible says we should pray for our enemies and we should pray for those that despitefully use us. Somebody said he's crying out for love. Exactly. That's right. I mean, it is a cry for help. I don't get offended, though. I don't get offended by people trying to get attention from me. I know why they want to get attention, because they want me to help them. But they don't realize all the help they need is inside here. I can't help anybody. People got to make the choice to help themselves. And so I pray for those, and I want y'all to pray for them. If y'all want to pray for them, pray for them. But somebody said, everybody send them a kiss. You got to pray for them, though. You do. You got to pray. Because there was a time when I was lost. And I wouldn't have did this, but there may have been things where I wanted attention. Possibly. I don't know. But I'm just saying, we've all been at a point of weakness before in our lives. We've all been at a point where we tried on some skinny jeans and thought about wearing them. We've all been to that point in our lives. We've all been there. And so I just believe in still trying to help people to the very end. Because there's going to come a time where the line's going to be drawn in the sand, and there's going to be those on the dark side and those on the side of God. And so it'll be a clear distinction of who's who and what's what. You know, somebody said, I'm not wasting my powers. Somebody said, oh, 3/4 Yeezys, you selling out too? Now this is what I mean, right? Now I got three. Now listen, now 3/4 Yeezys comes on all my lives. He on all the shows, and he get nothing but respect from it. It's 3/4 Yeezys. But he on this thing right now selling out. He on this thing selling out with somebody he don't even know. You see what I mean? This is what I mean by manhood when there's no honor. There's no character. This is the problem. This is what manhood is. Manhood says, I can't sell out on Blanche for a sellout because that makes me a sellout. But now 3/4 Yeezys done exposed himself. 3/4 Yeezys done exposed himself, and look what it took, y'all. This is how God works. Look how he got exposed. He got exposed from a troll. Look how that worked. So now he done lost all credibility. Even though 3/4 Yeezys be on all my stuff, commenting, and everybody shows him respect, he will come on my live now and disrespect me. This is what I'm talking about. This is what's been lost in society. These men are soft and they are weak. They're not built for what's coming. And guess what, ladies? Listen, ladies, I implore you all, stop giving these dudes your time, your energy, your vagina, your money, a place to stay. Stop entertaining these guys. Stop procreating with these men because you all are contributing to the demise of the planet. Stop dealing with these men. These men don't deserve to be with y'all. Stop doing it. Please stop doing it. Stop entertaining these dudes. Please stop. We have enough. We don't need any more cowards on this earth. We have enough. We've met the coward quota. Oh, you say he been at that? Oh, he been selling out, Joe? I didn't know. I didn't know he been, because if he been selling out, y'all should have told me that, because I don't know. But anyway, listen, you right. Hey, you right, Kamuno. You right. We finna get off. We finna close out. But listen, y'all, I love you all, and I wish y'all the best, and I want y'all to really start saying your affirmations in the morning. And I want y'all to prepare, stocking up on your essentials, your water, your food, your ammo. Get you a tent. You can get them simple one-step tents. Get your tent, get your sleeping bags. They have 0-degree weather sleeping bags and tents. Get your tents. Get your matches, lighters. If y'all got firewood, get your firewood. Get your propane stoves. Get your generator. I'm trying to get a little solar generator. Don't get the ones that make noise, the gas ones. Get the solar generators that don't make any noise. Because if it's making noise, it's going to attract folks to your house. So get your solar generators. Get all the stuff you need. Yeah, a tent. Get you a tent. They have the one-step tents. Get you some seeds. Some non-GMO heirloom seeds. What am I missing, y'all? What am I missing? Deodorant, toothpaste, floss. What am I missing? What am I missing? I said water. I don't know. But just get your all your essentials. They're gonna shut this stuff down, the grocery store, and think about this. Think about the set of getting more than enough, because people are going to need stuff. So you can do it from an entrepreneur perspective, where you have excess water and you'll sell the water for a higher price, or you may want to bless folks. I don't know. I'm just telling you that folks are going to be in need, because most folks aren't going to do what I'm telling y'all to do. They're not going to do it. They're not going to be stocking up on nothing. And when the grocery store shuts down, they're going to be stuck. So I'm telling you all to prepare. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. So prepare for this time right now, because the folks are going to get on TV and tell you all to go down to them FEMA camps, go down to them green zones. And I promise, if you go, you won't be able to leave. You won't be able to eat. You won't be able to drink unless you get that snake bite. So I love you all. I thank you all. Say them affirmations in the morning. Say your prayers at night. Meditate. Get your mind right. Get your mind clear. Take your vitamins. Oh, that's what I meant to say. Stock up on your vitamins too. You can go to Burlington Coat Factory. You can go to Marshall's. You can go to Ross. You can go to them type of places and get your vitamins that are discounted down. So go get your multivitamins. Get your little powder, your little superfood powders that you add to the drinks. Get those. Get all that stuff in preparation. And then also start getting to the habit of not having to eat 3 meals a day. Start challenging your body to where you fasting, you eating once a day, or maybe eating every other day. Just start training yourself. Not forever, but just start training your body. I'm gonna do a fast now for about 3 days. I'm gonna do a three-day fast of no food now. But during that 3-day fast, you should be learning, you should be growing. We should still be out there grounding, putting our feet on the ground, grounding, doing all this stuff, because we got to prepare ourselves for a time that's coming. Okay, listen, I love you all. I thank you all. And see y'all next time. All right, YouTube, I love y'all too. Thank you.